Listening Fill in the Blanks.
Let's start.
Catches have not always been so healthy. Between 1940 and 1959, overfishing led to crashes in salmon populations so severe that in 1953 Alaska was declared a federal disaster area. With the onset of statehood, however, the state of Alaska took over management of its own fisheries, guided by a state constitution which mandates that Alaska's natural resources be managed on a sustainable basis. At that time, statewide harvests totaled around 25 million salmon. Over the next few decades, average catches steadily increased as a result of this policy of sustainable management, until, during the 1990s, annual harvests were well in excess of 100 million, and on several occasions over 200 million fish. The most important resource in the NPM toolkit was the neem tree, Azadirachta indica, which is common throughout much of India. Neem tree is a broad-leaved evergreen tree related to mahogany. It protects itself against insects by producing a multitude of natural pesticides that work in a variety of ways, with an arsenal of chemical defenses that repel egg laying, interfere with insect growth, and most important, disrupt the ability of crop-eating insects to sense their food. It is no longer a privilege for children to attend school, and all children are expected to spend a significant part of their day in a classroom. Once in school, children's lives could be separated from domestic life and the adult world of work. In this way, school turns into an institution dedicated to shaping the minds, behavior, and morals of the young. Besides, education dominated the management of children's waking hours through the hours spent in the classroom, homework, the growth of after-school activities, and the importance attached to parental involvement.
The primary reason for such increases is what is known as in-season abundance-based management. There are biologists throughout the state constantly monitoring adult fish as they show up to spawn. The biologists are in streamside counting towers, study sonar, watch from aeroplanes, and talk to fishermen. The salmon season in Alaska is not preset. The fishermen know the approximate time of year when they will be allowed to fish, but on any given day, one or more field biologists in a particular area can put a halt to fishing. Even sport filing can be brought to a halt. It is this management mechanism that has allowed Alaska salmon stocks, and, accordingly, Alaska salmon fisheries, to prosper, even as salmon populations in the rest of the United States are increasingly considered threatened or even endangered. This lack of flooding harmed local wildlife. The humpback chub, for example, thrived in the rust-red waters of Colorado. Recently, though, its population has crashed. At first sight, it looked as if the reason was that the chub were being eaten by trout introduced for sport fishing in the mid-20th century, but trout and chub coexisted until Thegland Canyon Dam was built, so something else is going on. Steve Gloss, of the United States Geological Survey, USGS, reckons that the chub's decline is the result of their losing their most valuable natural defense, Colorado's rusty sediment. The chub were well adapted to the poor visibility created by the chick, red water, which gave the river its name and depended on it to hide from predators. Without the cloudy water, the chub became vulnerable. The first hydroelectric power plants were much more dependable and efficient than the plants of the day that were fired by fossil fuels. This led to a rise in the number of small to medium-sized hydroelectric generating plants located wherever there was an adequate supply of falling water and a need for electricity. As demand for electricity soared in the middle years of the 20th century, and the effectiveness of coal and oil power plants improved, small hydro plants became less popular. The majority of new hydroelectric developments were focused on giant mega projects. For the moment, those benefiting most from the spoken corpus are foreign learners. Computers allow lexicographers to search quickly through more examples of real English, said Professor Jeffrey Leach of Lancaster University. They allow dictionaries to be more accurate and give a feel for how language is being used. The spoken corpus is part of the larger British National Corpus, an initiative carried out by several groups involved in the production of language learning materials, publishers, universities and the British Library. Whitebread, who directs PTEL, trained as a primary school teacher in the early 1970s, when, as he describes, the teaching of young children was largely a quiet backwater, untroubled by any serious intellectual debate or controversy. Now, the landscape is very different. With hotly debated topics such as school starting age. Somehow the importance of play has been lost in recent decades. It's regarded as something trivial, or even as something negative, that contrasts with work. Let's not lose sight of its benefits, and the fundamental contributions it makes to human achievements in the arts, sciences and technology.
Research has shown that laughter is more than just a person's voice and movement, and that it requires the coordination of many muscles throughout the body. Laughter also increases blood pressure and heart rate, changes breathing, reduces levels of certain neurochemicals, catecholamines, hormones, and provides a boost to dying immune system. Can laughter improve health? It may be a good way for people to relax, because muscle tension is reduced after laughing. Human tests have found some evidence that humorous videos and tapes can reduce feelings of pain, prevent negative stress reactions, and boost the brain's biological battle against infection.
Like, share, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon for further updates.